They were the gods of the court, living legends who redefined basketball. In the 80s and 90s, they dominated the NBA with incredible plays, epic rivalries, and unforgettable moments that made history. But time catches up even with the greatest of all time. How do the icons who shaped a generation look today? Get ready to be amazed by the before and after of the NBA's biggest stars. Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson was one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, leading the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1980s with his spectacular style of play. A five-time NBA champion, three-time MVP, and symbol of the Showtime era, he captivated the world with his precise passing and on-court leadership. After retiring, Magic became a successful businessman, investing in sports, entertainment, and real estate. Additionally, he is a major activist in the fight against HIV, using his influence to educate and support the cause since his diagnosis in 1991. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is considered the greatest basketball player of all time. He led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships in the 1990s, won 5 MVP awards, and created legendary moments like the flu game and the game-winning shot against the Jazz in 1998. With his talent and winning mentality, he revolutionized the sport and became a global icon. After retiring, Jordan became a billionaire businessman, leading the Jordan brand and investing in the Charlotte Hornets, a team he owned for years. Additionally, he remains one of the most influential figures in sports and global culture. Larry Bird. Larry Bird was one of the greatest players in NBA history, leading the Boston Celtics in the 1980s. A 3-time NBA champion and 3-time consecutive MVP, he was known for his exceptional skill, precise shooting, and historic rivalry with Magic Johnson. His basketball IQ and competitiveness made him a legend of the sport. After retiring, Bird had a successful career as a coach and executive, helping build the success of the Indiana Pacers. Today, he remains involved in basketball behind the scenes and is recognized as one of the brightest minds in the history of the sport. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, with 38,387 points. During his career, he won 6 championships and was a 6-time MVP. With his iconic skyhook and unmatched skill, he played 20 seasons, primarily with the Milwaukee Bucks and Los Angeles Lakers, becoming one of the greatest dominators in the history of the sport. After retiring, Kareem became a writer, activist, and speaker, addressing issues such as civil rights and social justice. He remains influential, being one of the most respected figures in basketball and actively involved in educational and cultural causes. Bernard King. Bernard King was one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, known for his incredible offensive ability and versatility. Primarily playing for the New York Knicks in the 1980s, he was a 4-time All-Star and averaged 22 points per game throughout his career, standing out as one of the top offensive players of his generation. After retiring, King remains active in basketball, participating in events and working as an analyst. He is remembered as one of the game's legends, especially for the impact he had with the Knicks, and continues to be a respected figure in the sports world. Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas was one of the greatest point guards in NBA history, leading the Detroit Pistons to championships in 1989 and 1990. Known for his skill, leadership, and competitive mentality, he was a 12-time All-Star in the face of the Bad Boys, leaving his mark as one of the best players of all time. After retiring, Thomas had stints as a coach, executive, and commentator. He also made a name for himself as a businessman, investing in various industries. Despite some controversies behind the scenes, he remains an influential figure in basketball and an icon of the Pistons. Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale was one of the greatest power forwards in NBA history, a key piece of the Boston Celtics in the 1980s. A 3-time NBA champion, he was known for his exceptional post-play and strong defense, forming a legendary duo with Larry Bird. A 6-time All-Star, he cemented his legacy as one of the best low-post players of all time. After retiring, McHale had stints as a coach and executive, including a period leading the Houston Rockets. Additionally, he worked as a sports analyst, sharing his insights on the game. Today, he remains a respected voice in the basketball world. Julius Erving. Julius Erving, the legendary Dr. J, revolutionized basketball with his high-flying style and spectacular dunks. He shined in both the ABA and NBA, winning 3 championships, an NBA MVP award, and leaving his mark on the Philadelphia 76ers. His skill and elegance made him one of the most influential players in history. After retiring, Dr. J became a businessman and basketball ambassador, as well as a commentator and speaker. His legacy remains alive, serving as a reference for generations of players and fans around the world. James Worthy. James Worthy, the legendary Big Game James, was a key part of the Los Angeles Lakers during the Showtime era. A 3-time NBA champion and the 1988 Finals MVP, he was known for his speed, transition game, and ability to shine in clutch moments. His partnership with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made history. After retiring, Worthy remained involved in basketball as a sports analyst and mentor to young players. He continues to be a respected voice in the sport and an eternal icon of the Lakers. Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins, known as the Human Highlight Film, was one of the greatest scorers in NBA history, shining with the Atlanta Hawks in the 1980s and 90s. A 9-time All-Star, he became famous for his explosive dunks and iconic dunk contest battles, along with his impressive offensive skills. After retiring, Wilkins remained involved in basketball as a commentator and ambassador for the Hawks. Additionally, he works with health causes, especially related to diabetes, and continues to be an influential figure in the sport. Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler, known as Clyde the Glide, was one of the greatest forwards in the NBA during the 80s and 90s. A star for the Portland Trail Blazers and a champion with the Houston Rockets, Drexler stood out for his athleticism, fast breaks, and majestic dunks. He was a 10-time All-Star and a basketball legend. After retiring, Drexler continued as a commentator and mentor to young players. He also got involved in business projects and community causes, remaining a respected figure in the basketball world. Moses Malone. Moses Malone was one of the greatest centers in NBA history, known for his dominance in the paint and his rebounding ability. A 3-time NBA champion and 2-time MVP, he was a legend with both the Houston Rockets and the Philadelphia 76ers, where he won the 1983 championship. After retiring, Malone dedicated himself to social causes and promoting basketball in communities. He passed away in 2015, but his legacy as one of the greatest players in NBA history lives on, remembered for his strength and impact on the game. From Magic Johnson to Moses Malone, each of them left an indelible mark on NBA history, and their legacies live on, both on and off the court. Whether dominating the paint, breaking scoring records, or changing the way the game is played, they not only inspired players but also influenced an entire culture. And even after retiring, they continue to impact the basketball world in different ways. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about NBA legends, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss new content. See you next time, everyone.